Hey guys, as you can probably tell by the title, I'm just doing a little bit of a different video today, just a little bit of a fun slash informative video for those of you that are hoping at some point in your life to move in with your partner, or sort of coming up to that step, or even if you've just done it. And if you're already living with your boyfriend, husband, fiance, then you'll probably be able to sympathise with some of these things. So, number one, the toilet seat will always be up. So, like seriously, it does not matter how many times you say, put the toilet seat down, the toilet seat will always be up. I promise. So, your life will be so much easier if you just learn to live with it. And yeah, just trust me. Like, seriously. Number two, prepare to get hit. Now, that sounds a little weird, and I don't mean on purpose. Tom especially, when we're asleep, he, sometimes likes to roll over and fling out an arm. Yeah. If you're all of a sudden sharing a bed with someone who's not used to sharing a bed, watch out for flailing limbs, because they can hurt. Believe me. I mean, don't get me wrong, they'll always apologise and feel bad, but just prepare for it. Number three, you will get sick of each other. Like, after a while of living with each other, you learn, when's the time to have a little bit of personal time and stuff like that, and sort of you get your own life and you have friends and you do other things. But the first few months of being together, you're going to get sick of each other, and that's not a bad thing, and I'm sure it happens to lots of people, but it's like, when you're not used to spending every second with them, and all of a sudden you are, they can get on your nerves really easily. Like, you'll find yourself getting angry at things you probably wouldn't have gotten angry at before, and it's just because you're like under each other's skin all the time. Like, you're just always there, and I think separate time is a really important thing for couples, and it really helps to have your own time apart, but yeah, that sort of settles down and you get used to it after a while, but yeah, that can be a bit of a big one, because you can tend to fight a lot about everything. And I think that anyone that's ever moved in with someone, or has watched sort of any romantic comedy about people moving in together, you will know that you fight a lot, and it's just, at the end of the day, you just have to remember why you're there, and learn to let the little things go, which, putting my hand up, is something I'm terrible at, but yeah, you just learn to deal with it. You'll find out a lot about someone by moving in with them, and that's probably another thing. Like, you'll find out all these things and all these little habits about them that you never knew before. Weird things that they like to eat in the middle of the night, and things that they do in their sleep that you didn't know about. Talking, sleepwalking, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as long as you don't find out that they're like a serial killer or anything, knowing more about each other is never a bad thing. It can only ever bring you closer together as a couple. So that's fine. But yeah, last but not least, the main thing about living with a male, unless you're lucky enough to get a boyfriend that is insanely clean and organised, because let's face it, most men aren't. Not trying to stereotype, but it's true. You're going to have to get used to the fact that your house will be messy, or your bedroom or your apartment, or whatever it is that your living situation, you will have to get used to mess. Tom isn't like a dirty or a really messy person, but I'm quite pedantic about how I want things and keeping things clean and hung up and very organised. He's not. Um, so get used to it. Of course, there has to be a little bit of a compromise, so, you know, they have to sort of work with you as well. But you have to accept they are who they are, and at the end of the day, they're probably never going to be as clean and organised as you are. So you get used to clothes and towels and stuff just left lying all over the floor. I clean up after Tom quite a bit. You learn to live with it, and it's like, I think that the biggest thing about moving in with someone is, like I said, you find out so much about someone and their habits and the way that they live their lives that you never would have known otherwise, and it can honestly either make or break a relationship. I think that first moving in part, and then probably the married couple phase after the honeymoon, I think those are some of the biggest tests that you go through in a relationship. You know, and it's like, if you can survive that 3 months of wanting to kill each other when you first move in, because everything that the other person does is not how you like it, not how you do things, and just frustrates you, then you'll be fine. You know, me and Tom have a lot of fun living together, and there's so many upsides to living with someone, and, you know, going to sleep next to someone and waking up next to someone is a great feeling. You know, always having someone to talk to, always coming home to someone, you know, that's nice, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but, you know, living with a boy, there are definitely some downsides, but you just, you know, you go with it. But yeah, I think that those are some things that you should definitely expect when moving in with someone, so think about it carefully, because it's a big step and it's not something that you want to go into lightly, because it's something that you really should think about. But yeah, it's amazing, and I love it. I mean, I can deal with getting hit in the head every now and then, being woken up by Tom sleep talking about crocodiles. You know, it's not really a big deal. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it a little helpful, maybe a little funny. If you already live with someone, then some of these things might ring a bit true with you. But yeah, if you have any further questions, you can always leave them below and I'll happily answer them for you. But if not, then I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!